Thank you so much for joining today. We'll start today's class coming into constructive rest. So we'll come down onto the floor. You're always welcome to add any type of cushion you'd like here. You'd like a blanket under the neck or anything else. Go ahead and bring the feet to about hip distance apart, knees bent up towards the ceiling. You can leave your knees apart or you can let them come together and walk the feet out just a little bit. Maybe you bring your hands onto your belly or your torso, or maybe you let them relax alongside the body, palms face up. And if constructive rest does not feel like a comfortable place for you to start today's practice, then feel free to take any resting pose that would feel comfortable for you in this moment, as long as you can keep a straight spine. We'll begin to relax our shoulders, letting them soften into the mat beneath us. We'll allow our eyes to close, or maybe simply soften our gaze, letting our focus blur over as we settle here into the space in this moment. We'll take a breath or two to scan through the body, noticing any sensations, any aches or pains, anything that's clawing for your attention in this moment of stillness. And as you breathe it with those sensations and emotions, don't try to push them away or ignore them or even judge them. But maybe take an open-hearted breath of awareness instead, knowing that it's there, but also knowing that you can set it to the side. Let go of that worry or that emotion for just a few moments. As we settle into our breath itself, maybe breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth, and a steady but smooth transition between the two. Today, I'd like to challenge you throughout our class to see if you can connect with looking through the eyes of a child. We can try to bring that thought into our mind, trying to look through the world through the eyes of a child, unconditioned by society, unconcerned with the troubles of tomorrow, life, love, or tasks. Children have an innocence about them. They can go from crying to laughter in a moment's time. And children are our greatest teachers at remaining in the present moment. When we learn to look at the world as if looking through the eyes of a child, we can see the newness of each moment. We can let go of our worries of the day and instead see the magic in the little things. When we look at life this way, it's a remembering of our joyful nature. So as we rest and breathe here for just a few more moments, can you see if you can tap into that open awareness? Taking in the sounds, the smells, the feels all around your room. Maybe even opening your eyes if that feels like something you might want to do. Taking in whatever is around you But imagine yourself looking at those things, hearing those things, feeling those things through the eyes of a child. Beautiful job. If you opened your eyes, feel free to close them again or soften your gaze. As we start to come into our breathing exercise for today, we'll take a straw breath like a child sucking on a drink. The straw breath causes our mouth to curl around pursed lips like that straw. We'll breathe in through those pursed lips. We'll breathe out through those pursed lips. Maybe even an exhale escapes here and there. And that's okay too. We'll take about 5 to 6 of these breaths, making sure we're not feeling lightheaded. And if we do start to feel lightheaded, simply imagining the breath in our minds instead of physically taking. After your 5th or 6th round of the breath, allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Once again, checking in with the sensations of the body to notice what there is to notice. We'll then take a moment to offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude that we took time out of our busy day to slow down and connect with ourselves, our breath, maybe a little bit of innocent exploration. And as we move through our practice today, remember that every stretch, every pose is an invitation to learn just a little bit more about your inner wisdom. We'll begin to flutter our eyes open, wiggling fingers and toes. If your knees are together, go ahead and bring them so they come apart. And then let's hug one knee and then the other in towards the chest, getting a little compression here. And then maybe take it to a rock to side. I'm getting a little joyful here maybe, or starting to not only connect with your breath, but connect with looking at these movements through the eyes of a child with a sense of newness, a sense of innocence. Great job. We'll go ahead and pause in stillness and then come into a happy baby. You can't start a childlike class without a happy baby or two thrown in. So go ahead and grab those feet or ankles or even just your legs behind the knees. Send your feet up towards the floor. And then find a little authentic movement, maybe rocking, maybe straightening and bending the knees. Maybe any other movements that feel good to you. Again, maybe tapping into that childlike playing. Beautiful job. All right, our next exhale brings our feet back into constructive rest, about hip distance apart, but then begin to inch the heels as close to your hips as is available today. And then we'll take our hands, bring them down by our heels, palms face down. We're going to start to engage our core. as we start to lift the shoulders and head off the mat. And with our inhale, reach your right hand down towards your right ankle. You might not touch it, that's okay. And then inhale to come back through center. Exhale, over to the left. Take it left to right, matching your breath to movement. Taking our penguin waddle stretch. And if at any point you want to take a break, bring the shoulders and head down, and then rejoin us as your abs are feeling ready. But make sure that you're not pushing into any tweaks or twinges, that you're finding your edge, maybe finding a little playfulness, moving fast or slow as your body wants to move. Beautiful job. Last time on each side, head and shoulders come down. Great job. Widen the feet to a little wider than hip distance, and then allow the knees to fall over towards the right side of the room, taking it into a nice, easy twist. Now feel free to stack or stagger the knees, or even add a prop beneath, between the knees, or under one knee if that feels better. We want to make this nice and gentle, as it's our first twist of the day, or at least the class, maybe not the day. Great job. Inhale to come through center, take it over to the other side, making any accommodations for this side as necessary. Your gaze can go in any direction, including the same direction as your knees or away from it, as long as the body is feeling nice and supported. Great job. With our inhale, bring those knees back to a constructive rest. We'll bring the hands down by the heels one more time. Really work those shoulders underneath our back. And then as we inhale, we'll squeeze our glutes, lifting our hips for a bridge pose. Hold it at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on your 1, go ahead and lower. And then take 3 rolling bridges, going at your own pace. Make sure to pause at the top for just a little breath before starting your slow descent down. And when you reach the top, make sure to squeeze the glutes just a little extra before coming back down. Really feel that roll through the spine. Popping the hips up towards the ceiling. Great job. After that third one, hips come down to the ground. Feel free to windshield wiper the knees left to right at your own pace. Great job. All righty. From here, we're going to roll onto our bellies. We're going to bring our hands out wider than our mat, palms face down, and then elbows squeezing up towards the ceiling. And with an inhale, press into your hands, coming into a Sphinx pose, lifting up a little or a lot through the spine. Beautiful job. Exhale to roll it down. And just like those rolling bridges, we'll take 3 rolling sphinxes. Inhaling up, pausing at the top, pulling your gaze forward. Exhale to roll. Are you connecting into the eyes of a child? Is that something you can find a little joyfulness, a little playfulness here in this movement? Beautiful. All right. After your third one, go ahead and pause. We're going to take a blanket or maybe a small pillow. We're going to roll it up so it's a very skinny tube. And if you have a thick blanket, don't roll it all the way up. We really only want it about 2 inches in diameter, or circumference, sorry, diameter, whichever one, about 2 inches across. And then we're going to bring that rolled up whatever we're using, and we're going to bring it just above the hip bone, or just into the abdomen area. so that you can feel it start to massage your internal organs just a little bit. Now, if this feels very uncomfortable, maybe you have an achy stomach today or something, feel free to just lay flat on your belly and just notice what the breathing against the ground feels like. You can stay high on your elbows, or maybe bring a pillow under your head, or even rest your head on a hand pillow made out of your hands stacked. Really allow yourself to simply breathe here. If it feels good to find stillness, find stillness. Maybe it feels better to rock a little side to side and work that blanket into those internal organs just a little bit more. Great job. All right, our last breath here. And then with our inhale, press up to tabletop. Go ahead and remove your blanket, setting it to the side. And then let's take a cat-cow here, moving through the spine, rounding, exhaling. Great job. All right, one more breath here. All right, go ahead and come back to a straight spine, and then we'll come on up to standing. We'll get there in our own time and in our own way, and feel free to grab a drink on your way. We're going to stand in our mountain pose, feeling tall and exuberant, like a child standing their ground. And then with a big inhale, we're going to let the arms float up and overhead. But instead of our normal straight arm, I want us to bring a bend towards our elbows, finding a circular shape over our head. Now the fingertips can come towards a touch, or they can be really wide apart. It's really up to you where you find this opening through your heart space in your arms. And this will be our overhead position throughout the class today. With our next exhale, you can bring your right hand down to your hip or keep it right where it is, but we're going to lean towards the right. Inhale to bring it back through center, lean towards the left. Inhale back through center. We're going to take a twist from the hips, but as we do, we'll let the arms flow down like petals of a flower opening up. So they rest by our hips, palms face out. Inhale to come through center, circle overhead. Exhale, twist from the hips to the left, arms float down. Beautiful job. Inhale through center, round arms. And exhale, we swan dive down, hinging into our forward fold. Letting our hands rest on the floor, up for rock, or our legs. As we drop the forehead down towards the floor. With our next inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Beautiful job. Exhale, hinge and fold, bend the knees, sink the hips, take a slow roll up to your tall mountain, arms wide. Beautiful job. All righty, from here, exhale, cactus. Inhale, bring your hands to a prayer. And then let's add on just a little bit to our flow. We're going to step the left foot back, coming up onto the heel, lifting the heel, or coming onto the toes and lifting the heel. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, we're going to lean to the right, just like before. Now we're going to switch it up a little. We're going to come through center and then open like a flower, twisting to the right. Great job. Inhale to step it back. Stepping the back foot back, untwisting the spine, switch sides, right foot back. Left elbow comes down as we hinge to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the left, open arms like a flower petal. Inhale to come through center. Step that back foot in. This time, as we exhale, we're gonna bend into the knees, sink into the hips, come into a chair pose. Keeping those arms overhead and round for balance, or maybe bringing them down to your hips, your prayer, or onto a prop for a little support. You're doing great. All right, inhale, tall mountain, round arms. Exhale, sink it back into that chair. This time we're going to take it into a twist towards the right. If you'd like to take a prayer twist, you can take a prayer twist. If you'd like to take it as an open arm twist, that's a great variation as well. Inhale to come back through chair. Exhale, twist it to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, sink your chair a little bit more. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Beautiful job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain, wide arms. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, prayer. Mountain. Great job. Feel free to take any type of movement that you like. All righty, let's inhale. We're going to bring the arms out wide to a T. As we come into a eagle arm variation, we're going to take the right arm under the left arm, start to hug back towards our shoulders. If that feels like a great place to stay, you're always welcome to stay there. You could also start to bring the backs of hands or the fronts of hands, or bring something long and skinny like a strap in between the hands. For the chair, for our eagle pose, we want to make sure our hands aren't right close to our face, that we're starting to pull them away a little or a lot. We're straight through the spine up to the top of the head. And you can stay right here, standing and just working on the shoulder stretch. Or maybe explore what it might feel like to sit back into that chair. For a little more support, you can even bring your back up against a prop here. Now you're welcome to go a little bit deeper into our eagle, shifting your weight to the right foot and then crossing the left ankle or the knee. You can let that left foot hang out or rest on a prop. And again, you could have that back supported at a wall as well. So there's lots of options here for our eagle. Whether you're taking chair eagle or full eagle with the leg lifted or wrapped in some way. All right, last breath here. Inhale, uncross the legs if there's a cross in them, straighten them to stand tall, and then exhale to unwind the arms. Feel free to take any movement you need. Inhale, bring them back up. Left arm under right, we're taking it in the opposite direction. With our exhale, let's sink into the knees, bend into your chair. Again, you're welcome to just stay here, or maybe shift your weight to the left, cross the right at ankle or knee. Eagle. We're doing a beautiful job. All right, exhale to release, unwind everything. Big breath here. Great job. Inhale, circle arms up, round. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Find that lean. Inhale, halfway lift. And then let's step the left foot back as we come into a high lunge. You can inhale to bring your hands up to your front knee, starting to stack the hips in the torso. Bring your hands to a prayer. Or as always, you could send them in the air or hold onto a prop. We want a nice generous bend in both knees. Beautiful job. With our exhale, let's twist at the hips towards the front leg. Arms can be wide, or if you like that prayer twist, coming back into a prayer at heart center. Great job. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, let's circle our hands down to the ground or onto some props. And then begin to straighten that front leg, coming into a pyramid pose. You can even step that back foot in just a little if you wanted to. Beautiful. Notice that stretch. Are you checking out this flow through the eyes of a child with some amazement, some wonder, some newness? All right, we're going to start to bend deeply through that front knee. If we step to the back foot in, step it back out. We're going to come down towards a low lunge. So bringing your hands down towards the ground, dropping that back knee. And then go ahead and step the front knee back for half plank. For a little more engagement, you can untuck the knees for full plank. We're gonna make sure our wrists are in line with our shoulders. If we're on our knees, maybe we're kicking our toes up or crossing them. It's up to you. And let's take 3 baby push-ups, 3 yogi push-ups. Now you can come all the way down or you can come halfway down, keeping the elbows in by the sides. Take it at your own pace, building a little bit of shoulder strength here. Great job. After your third one, pause in your plank or your half plank for just a moment. Great job. All right, if you've lifted your knees, go ahead and drop them to half plank. Shift back for tabletop. And then draw opposite knee forward. So we're going to take our lunge on the opposite side now. So we're in our low lunge first. And then we're going to bring maybe some props under our hands if we'd like. Add a little height. We'll start to tuck our back toes. Bring that back knee off the mat, coming into your high lunge. And then as you're ready, coming all the way back up. Prayer or hands up in the air. Beautiful crescent lunge. Just make sure your foundation is good from the ground all the way up. You're not feeling wobbly. Exhale, twist it towards the front knee. Open armed or prayer. Inhale to bring it back through center. Exhale, straighten that front knee, hinge over it, maybe stepping that back foot in. Just a little bit. Great job. With our next inhale, we're going to keep our hands where they are, either on the floor or a prop. And then let's step that back foot in, forward fold, completing our flow. Beautiful job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float. Inhale, tall mountain round arms. Exhale, step the left foot back, lean to the right. Inhale through center, twist to the right, pedal arms. Inhale, float it up, step it back. Second side, side bend. Inhale through center, Twist and open up. Back through center. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, chair pose. Beautiful job. We're gonna pause in our chair pose. You can keep your hands on a prop, lifted, or bring them down to your knees. And we're gonna take just a few cat-cows here. So round through your spine, tuck your chin, and then take it into the opposite direction. Notice how this slightly changes being in a chair pose with your knees bent, a little deep squat happening through the thigh muscles. You're doing great. All right, one more cat-cow from chair. Inhale, tall mountain round arms. Great job. Exhale, cactus. Prayer. All right, we're gonna have a little bit of a balance challenge, another one. So if you're wanting to come closer to a wall, you're welcome to do that. And for this one, if you like to use a strap, you might want to have one nearby. So we're going to come into our mountain. We're going to shift our weight over to the right foot and then begin to kick that left heel up towards your hip. Now, if you can reach back with your hand, you're welcome to do that. If you can hold your pant leg, that's an option as well. If you have a strap, you can wrap it around your ankle. That's always a great option. Another option is to have a prop. It could be anything from a chair to a couch, even a block behind you, letting your toe rest on that, or even the wall. Wherever we're at, we're getting this nice, beautiful quad stretch here. Opening up through that quad muscle. Now, if you're feeling very sturdy here, and you want to explore this dancer's pose, you're more than welcome to start to find a hinge at the hips. Again, your opposite hand can be on a prop for support as you do. And then start to lift the knee up back behind you, pressing your hand or strap into your foot or ankle. Keeping your gaze on something on the floor can be very helpful. Great job. Inhale, coming back up to your straight spine. And exhale to release that foot back down to the ground. And let's take side two. So now we're going to shift our weight to the side that we just stretched. Begin to kick that opposite heel up towards your hip, using your props as you would like, or anything else. You can just work on this quad stretch and balancing if that feels like it's enough things to balance, or maybe start to send the opposite arm out long, pressing your foot into your hand or your prop, leaning. Make sure to keep a bend in your standing leg. You're doing great. One more breath in dancer. Inhale, bring it back up to a straight spine if you leaned. And then go ahead and drop that foot to the floor. Beautiful job. Maybe give yourself a pat on the back for that. All righty, we've been doing a lot of hip work, so let's get into it just a little bit more, but add a little bit of abs to it this time. So we're going to come in to a wider than hip distance stance. Not our widest though, we're going to come into a horse stance. So we inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, sink it into your horse stance, bending at the knees, sinking into the hips. Take a few moments to shuffle, to wiggle, to lift heels, anything you need to settle in here. And then maybe with an exhale, bring the elbows down to that cactus position. All right, throughout this flow that we're going to do for the next few minutes, you're welcome to just find steadiness and stillness. You're welcome to come in and out of star as needed. Let's all come out to star pose for just one breath. All right, exhale, sink it back into cactus horse. And then maybe bring hands to interlace behind the head, letting the elbows come out wide to the side. This is where we're going to get those abs involved. So we're going to drop our right elbow towards the right side, lifting left elbow. Come back through center, take it to the other side. So very similar to those penguins we were doing on the ground, but less strenuous on our neck. Great job. Take it left to right, as deep or shallow as you'd like. If you want to touch your elbow to your knee, you're welcome to do so. Or if it's only a couple of inches, that's great too. You want to be very mindful, exploring with curiosity those ab muscles and what they want to do today. All right, one more time on both sides. Come through center. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Beautiful job. Go ahead and drop your hands towards your hips or your legs. Walk your feet in, not all the way close, but about mat distance, I would say this time. Inhale, arms float up into that balloon. Exhale, we bend the knees, sink into a deeper squat. You can rest your hips up against the wall, or maybe bring a block under your hips if you're going really low. Finding our last squat of the day. Heels can be down or lifted. You can find a little dynamic movement or stillness. Your hands are welcome to come to a prayer. Beautiful. All right, our last breath here. Our next exhale brings us onto our knees, standing on our knees. All right. For this next variation, we're going to take a back bend, a wheel pose, but instead of taking it from the ground, we're going to use another prop. So for me, it's going to be my wall, but if you have a piece of furniture nearby, you could use that as well. Just something that you can start to look up and then bring your hands overhead towards whatever that is, letting the elbows come out in front of you. Start to press into your prop as you pull your heart forward and lift your gaze. Now you can stay seated in your hero's pose on the bottom, or you could come tuck the toes, lift up standing on your knees, and take it that way. And if you're taking it standing on your knees, you want to make sure to pull your hips forward, just like a camel pose, as you press your hands into whatever surface you're using as your prop. Beautiful back bend. Exhale to release. Beautiful job. From there, let's come into a seated position. Always welcome to bring something under your hips. And you could be crisscross applesauce or in any other seated position that feels good for you. Inhale, arms float up wide. Great job. Alrighty, from here, we're going to keep our hands up high as we try to concentrate on our upper body, our shoulders, our neck, our head, and we're going to twist towards our right. But I want us to keep our hips and our waist as much forward as we can. It might only be a little twist because we're twisting just again the shoulders, the upper body, and trying to keep the waist steady. Great job. Exhale through center. High twist to the right, left, or the opposite direction. Great job. Come back through center, and like a petal of a flower, we twist to the right, letting the arms float down. Either knee can be where they land. This time we are twisting from the hips. Inhale through center, arms up and over. Take it into that twist towards the left. So first we twisted the top part of our spine. Now we're twisting the midsection of our spine. Inhale through center. You're doing a beautiful job. All right, this last twist, we're gonna take our left hand, we're gonna capture our right leg, anywhere from ankle to knee, and then we're gonna twist our left shoulder down towards it. You can even hug under the leg if that's available to you. Your right hand can stay outside your right hip on the floor for support, or you can twist it up towards the ceiling, noticing that lower oblique twist. Inhale through center. Exhale to the other side, lower oblique twist. Great job. Inhale, coming back through center one last time. And then let's go ahead and bring our feet out in front of us, soles of the feet on the floor. And then grab a prop. It literally can be anything. We just want something in between our hands. I'm going to use a block. You can use a book, a roll of yarn, anything that's within reaching distance, even a chopstick work. All right, we're holding it between our arms. And we're going to start to lean back about 45 degrees, really engaging our core here. Now there's a couple of options here. We're going to take a mason twist. So the first option is to keep your feet on the floor. We're going to twist whatever we're holding towards the floor outside of our right hip, come back through center, twist it towards the left, back through center. Take it at your own pace. Now to add just a little bit more, maybe as you twist, you lift the opposite foot off the ground, making it upper and lower body, and using your lower abdominals as well. Now to go even deeper, start with both feet lifted and twist the knees in the opposite direction that you're twisting the block. All right, I'll take this a couple more times, whatever variation you're at, going as fast or as slow as you would like. Beautiful job. One more on each side. All right, come back through center. Inhale up, put your prop away. And then meet me over on your belly for one last belly pose. As we settle in here, you're welcome to do a Sphinx or rest on your hand pillows. We're going to widen the knees to about as wide as the mat, and then start to point the toes up towards the ceiling. We're going to take a reverse windshield wiper. So instead of the knees moving left to right, we're going to let the ankles fall left to right, rolling through the hips. We do a lot of hip, lower back, glute work. And this is a great way to unwind all those muscles. Beautiful job. One or two more moments here. All right, we're gonna pause to bring the soles of the feet together. You can keep the knees wide. You can keep the feet lifted, or you can start to allow the feet to come down towards the mat, coming into a little bit of a diamond shape through the lower body, noticing how that feels. And then begin to press into the hands, shift the hips back for a wide kneed child's pose. Maybe you take a couple of straw breaths here, really letting any remaining tension to drain into the mat beneath you. As you push it out through your straw. Beautiful. Our next exhale finds us in our back, on our back, into a ball position, hugging knees into our chest. And we'll end class pretty much the same way we started class. So you can either rock and roll left to right, or you could rock along the spine. If you want to take some knee circles, you could take some knee circles, letting your lower back unwind. Or you could take a happy baby, letting the tailbone reach down towards the mat, or any variation of any of these last few items. But making sure that if you do one thing on one side, you're balancing out the other side. We'll consider this our yogi playtime, our time to look through the eyes of a child as we explore these last few movements and moments. Kind of smushed that word together there and said movements. All right. Beautiful job. All right, with your next exhale, let's start to release into our final resting pose. As always, you could take a constructive rest like we started class. You could take a legs of the wall. You could add pillows, blankets, blocks, or any other props you might want. Maybe something to cover the eyes or a little weight on the body. You begin to let your arms find a place to rest, your hands, your shoulders. Maybe even allowing the eyes to close or the gaze to soften. As we prepare to close our yoga practice, let's take this moment to really allow ourselves to settle into comfort. Allowing your breath to flow freely as you take deep breaths in and out. Allow your body to grow heavier into the ground underneath of you as you transition inward. We all start knowing magic. We are born with whirlwinds, forest fires, and comets inside of us. We are born able to sing to the birds, to read the clouds, and to see our destiny in the grains of sand. But then we get the magic educated right out of our souls. We get it churched out, spanked out, washed out, and combed out. We get put on the straight and narrow path and told to be responsible, told to act our age, told to grow up, for goodness sake. And you know why we were told that? Because the people doing the telling were afraid of our wildness and youth and innocence. And because the magic we know made them ashamed and sad for what they'd allowed to wither in themselves. Robert R. McCammon. Begin to imagine ourselves as a child, little you standing at the edge of a field. It's a vast field. And notice with each breath, you feel your heart open and your mind clear, just like a child's would. There is no judgment of that field, no expectations of you or the field. Simple, pure wonder. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, see if you can let go of any lingering thoughts or worries. Allow yourself, like a child, to be present here and now in the safe space that you've created for little you. With this next breath, envision that world through a child's eyes. Bright, vibrant, full of possibilities. Can you notice any colors and shapes? How about textures? And can you feel the excitement of discovery and the joy of connecting with simple pleasures? As you continue to breathe, let a sense of wonder fill you up. Let it remind you that life is a precious gift, full of beauty and miracles, waiting to be appreciated and explored. Anytime you notice your mind starting to wander back to the adult thoughts, see if you can draw it back to focus on your breath, exploring this vast field as little you could only do. May you carry this childlike wonder, not only from this field, but into your day and week and month. May this mindfulness and meditation challenge today help you reconnect with an innate curiosity and joy that radiate within you and each of us. Take the deepest breath of our day so far. as we allow ourselves to sink even deeper into those bright colors, the vibrant energy, the precious gift of the field around us. With curiosity and joy. Take in one more deep breath. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes. And may you move forward into your day. And may you see the world with fresh eyes and an open heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day ahead of you. Until next time, thank you so much for joining.